We are often told that a sense of despair regarding the state of the world is a chemical flaw, a depression that needs to be silenced or medicated. But there is a psychological concept known as depressive realism. This theory suggests that those perceived as depressed aren't necessarily seeing the world through a distorted lens. On the contrary, they may be seeing it too clearly. They have lost the optimistic bias that evolution granted us to survive the daily observation of systemic cruelty. When you look at the news and feel your brain exploding, it isn't madness. It is the collision between your innate humanity and a system that abandoned human values long ago. You are witnessing the architecture of a conspiracy that doesn't need shadows to exist. It operates in the blinding glare of the sun. The first pillar of this dominion is the aesthetics of fragility. Observe the beauty standards imposed upon us. The modern woman is pressured toward an ideal of androgyny, a thinness that erases the curves of maturity, a hairless, porcelain skin devoid of the marks of experience. Why? Because power is terrified of the mature woman. The mature woman is the matriarch. She is the symbol of wisdom, autonomy, and sovereign creative force. By reducing the female ideal to the silhouette of a prepubescent child, the elite achieves a dual victory. Symbolism. They strip women of their presence and power, rendering them visually submissive and vulnerable. They normalize the pedophilic gaze. If society is taught to desire what looks childlike, the moral barrier between adult desire and the abuse of minors begins to erode. It is social engineering designed to harvest what should be sacred. The reproductive machine. The puppy mill. Paradox. Here lies the most violent paradox. While they demand bodies that look like children, the system simultaneously demands that women function as reproductive factories. Laws that criminalize bodily autonomy and the frantic rhetoric to repopulate the world are not about the sanctity of life. They are about inventory management. To an elite that views the world as a chessboard of resources, human beings are merely commodities. They need new bodies for labor, for consumption, and, in the darkest, most ritualistic strata, for abuse. When women are treated as puppy mills, the system is stripping the spirit and dignity from the act of giving life, turning it into an assembly line to feed the gears of a predatory global society. Why does it feel like a centralized, singular conspiracy? Because in the highest corridors of power, the names repeat, the faces are the same, and the crimes are shared. This isn't just politics, it is ritual. When individuals from different nations and opposing ideologies unite in acts of primal depravity, they aren't just satisfying dark impulses, they are forging a blood pact. Participation in these rituals of abuse ensures that no one can betray the group without destroying themselves. It is the ultimate control mechanism, mutual blackmail, compromat, that keeps the pyramid of power perfectly intact. Your brain aches because you are attempting to process the unnameable. You are seeing the convergence of fashion, politics, economics, and biology, all working toward a single end: total dehumanization. Depressive realism is the burden of those who can see the chains. The question that remains is not, why is this happening? But rather, what do we do with the consciousness that the world, as it was sold to us, is merely a facade for a predatory banquet? If you feel the weight of this truth today, remember, the fact that you can still feel horror is proof that they haven't won yet. Your revulsion is your last piece of sovereign territory.